Welcome to This Week in Tiger Athletics. I'm your host, Haley White, and joining me today is Tanner Hoekman, a senior defensive back from Abilene. Tanner had 9 tackles and an interception in the 44-3 win over Missouri Southern on Saturday at Lewis Field Stadium. That came after a 10-tackle performance in an overtime victory at Washburn the week earlier. He leads the team with 34 total tackles this season. He's been an All-American MIAA performer the last 2 seasons. First off, congrats on the win Saturday against Missouri Southern. How nice was it to get that first win in front of a home crowd?
It felt amazing. We had a pretty rough start, so just to get that win, especially in front of our home crowd and our fans, is really nice to get the season going.
So what was that mindset heading into that game after capturing that win a week earlier?
Everybody kind of knew that it was time to lock down, and we got our backs against the walls right now. So everybody's mindset was kind of like this. It's a do or die type of situation. So every game matters, every point matters. So.
After the way the last 2 seasons went and the start to this season, was it a bit frustrating as a senior?
It was, just because I knew the potential we had for this season too. All of our players, I feel like, have tremendous abilities and talents that I feel like match the past year. So that's kind of why it was frustrating. But you know, we had 2 losses last year and still won the conference and went to the playoffs. So I feel like we can still do that this year.
And so far this season, Missouri Southern has put up quite a bit of points. They're averaging nearly 33 points a game, and they even put up 34 against Northwest Missouri State. How key was it to hold the Lions to only 3?
It was amazing. I'm very proud of my defense. That was a goal of ours going in. You know, just not give up any big plays, and that's kind of what they've gotten their points off of against other teams, is some big shots. So we just focused on keeping everything in front of us and making them take those shots, and it kind of worked out for us. So. Were
there any specific adjustments that the defense had made in order to prepare for that?
Pretty much just staying deep. They like to. The quarterback is a good quarterback. He likes to scramble and chuck the ball up deep. He throws a lot of picks, but he also, as you can see in the other games, he makes a lot of plays with his feet and his arms. So we pretty much just planned on just keeping everything in front of us, making sure no one gets behind us, and making plays.
And the defensive secondary had struggled at times during so far this season, but the last 2 games, you guys have come up with big crucial situations. How important has that been this year's secondary after the loss of so many?
It's a new environment with so many young guys and new guys. Me being one of the only guys with experience coming back, I had some questions going into it, but I feel fully confident with all the guys we have and the work that they put in and that we're going to continue to put in throughout the season.
Talk about the role that you took on this season after you lost so many guys, including Connor Shadid, Jose Delgado, and Doyen Jabobu.
Yeah, it was. Those guys were amazing. It was kind of hard to come back and not have those guys in the locker room and on the team, and so I kind of knew that I had to step up in ways of being more of a vocal leader and just a leader by showing other guys what to do. So, those guys taught me a lot of things, and hopefully I can carry on what they taught me.
And you redshirted the 2015 season here at FHSU. How did that year help you progress into the player that you are today?
The redshirt year was amazing. I'm so thankful that I got to have that. Actually, it's just a year that you get to learn your plays and strength wise and everything. My speed. It was just a year to kind of build all that up. And so we always tell the guys that come in, it's never a bad thing to redshirt, and you should want a redshirt because that's just a year you get to just learn the system. You get to go against the ones all the time against scout teams. So that year was very beneficial for me.
How does it feel to be a part of a team that set so many records here for the program?
I feel blessed that I got this opportunity to play with them. Coach Brown giving me a chance to play here. I love Hayes so much because the family environment and like I said, I've been pretty blessed to just get this opportunity.
And coming out of Abilene, did you ever think that would have been possible?
Yeah, I was pretty nervous coming here in the first couple of years and seeing all the guys that's come through here and that was here with me when I got here. But I thought from the very beginning that my coach from Abilene, all the coaches that I've had, they've kind of taught me well, and I knew I'd get a shot and a chance, so I'm glad I took part of it.
Talk about that hard work and determination it takes to go from playing at Abilene to a high-level team in the MIAA in Division II football.
It's definitely a step up, that's for sure. But like I said, I feel like my coaches in Abilene, they taught me well. They made me know that like the MIAA is a very tough conference, so that's why they were pushing like Hayes and Washburn and all these conference schools that are here in Kansas, that this conference isn't a joke. Like D2 football is legit, so I'm glad I just got the shot to do it.
So the team did get off to a rough start this year, but now you guys are 2-2 after 2 consecutive wins. You head on the road this weekend to Central Oklahoma. How important is it to keep things rolling this weekend?
I mean, it's very important. Right now we're looking at winning each week, going 1-0. Having 2 losses set us back pretty big. So, I mean, one more loss and that could take us out of conference championship possibilities and playoff possibilities. So every win matters now, and we're going to play it each week and just focus on that team. So UCO this week at their place, they're a tough team. It's always hard going somewhere and playing, but Central Oklahoma is actually like a really tough place to play, just the environment around there. And I know they got a lot of great guys, a lot of great athletes, and so we got to lock in this week and get it done.
So for you, what would be the perfect ending to your senior year?
Of course, I mean, a national championship would be the best thing for my senior year. I mean, I'm not too worried about my like personal accolades. I'm here for the team, and I just want these guys. I think the coaches deserve it. The guys that I'm with deserve it. So a national championship would be amazing, and another conference championship.
Well, thanks for joining me today, Tanner.
Thanks for having us.
When we return, we will break down the rest of This Week in Athletics.
He often climbs to the 3rd floor of Rarick without taking a second breath. No matter when he submits his assignment to Blackboard, it is considered early, even if it is 5 days late. The line at Starbucks parts when he arrives. He considers the homecoming bonfire a small flame for s'mores. Every time he walks downtown, it's considered a march to Maine. His doodles on scrap paper are framed and hung in Rarick Hall. Once he parked in a 30-minute zone overnight, and the campus police left him a thank you note and a gift card.
I don't always party, but when I do, I register with SGA. Now party responsibly, my friends.
Welcome back. Joining me now is FHSU SID Ryan Prickett, and he's going to help me break down the rest of This Week in Athletics. So volleyball split its play over the weekend in Gross, falling to Central Oklahoma Friday and then sweeping Newman in 3 sets on Saturday.
Yeah, kind of, I guess maybe how you would expect the weekend to go on paper, how it came in. Central Oklahoma 9-3 overall going into that match. They've been a really good program the last few years, but we took a set off of them. We won the second set, evened up the match, 1-1. I thought we were playing pretty well up to that point. We actually had a really unfortunate run in the first set where we were up 3, I believe it was like 17-14, and we gave up 7 straight points. So it's those things right there that your team is playing with the best of the MIAA right now, but you've got to shore up those mistakes of not letting big runs happen. And unfortunately, I mean, we could have probably had a 2-set lead in that match and feel really good about things. But then as the match went on, 3rd set and 4th set, I don't know if we lost a little bit of confidence or what was going on, but we just didn't perform very well in those last two sets. Even in the fourth set, I think really what happened there was we got kind of stuck in a rotation. Coach tried subbing in some different players to kind of mix things up a little bit, maybe get a spark, and I think unfortunately it went the other direction for us. We just nothing was clicking very well in that set, and unfortunately lost in 4. But we bounced back good the next day against Newman. Newman obviously still a winless team, and it's going to be very hard for them to pick up a win this year in the MIAA. We just know how hard the conference is as a whole. So that was one that we knew we needed to get, and the ladies took care of business in 3 sets and kind of righted the ship there. And we're 2-2 in MIAA play after 2 weeks. So really, that's a good place to be right now, considering that we were picked second to last in the conference. So.
And they'll continue that conference play on the road for both matches this week. First at Emporia State on Tuesday, and then Northwest Missouri State on Friday. Yeah,
Emporia State's one of those teams that we've already beaten conference. This will be our return trip to go play them down at their place. We've struggled down at their place quite a bit in past years, and hopefully we'll solve whatever the mystery of White Auditorium is. I know even in basketball it can be a weird place to play too. So hopefully the ladies go down there and maybe get the season sweep of Emporia. And then Northwest Missouri is going to be a tough one. They're a team that's been in and out of the national rankings. They're a team that has elevated themselves into that upper echelon of the MIAA here the last few years. So that's going to be a tough one on the road. But like I said, seeing what we've done against some of the elite of the MIAA so far, I like our chances going forward. I like what I've seen out of the team. I think they're growing really well. A lot of youth on the squad, but they're gelling together better now. And you never know. I mean, that's why you play the match, and hopefully we'll get some good results this week on the road.
Men's soccer finished with a draw of 2s that concluded overtime play with Ouachita Baptist on Thursday, and then they beat Harding by 7 on Saturday.
Yeah, kind of a crazy weekend. I guess if you were going to look at the week going into it on paper and you told me those 2 results without telling me who we played, I would probably tell you the 2-2 was against Harding and the 8-1 result was against Ouachita, but it was the reverse. And kind of frustrating, obviously, that we only tied Ouachita. I felt like that's a game that we needed to probably go win. But the positive of things in soccer is it didn't tally a loss on us in the loss column, basically. And so we're still, I guess, undefeated, as you can look at it in conference play. And now we have everybody behind us, because by beating Harding on Saturday, and convincingly too, that was kind of a shocker that we beat them as much as we did. But that's one that we got everybody in our rear view now. Everybody's got at least a loss in the conference other than us. So if we can continue to play well the rest of the season, everybody's going to have to come chase us down now. And so, and we're the favored team in the conference. So if we play up to our ability level, I feel like we could really pull away in the conference standings and give ourselves some good room. So, but anyway, yeah, that result at Harding was a little bit of a head scratcher, but it was good for us too, because I feel like the offense being as good as it was last year, maybe that's their game to finally break out of the funk of only scoring 1 or 2 goals a match, to put 8 on the board and almost get to the school record for goals in a match against Harding's not really that bad of a team. Mm-hmm. And so that was a good result for our men, and hopefully they'll use that as a springboard to continue to maybe dominate as they go through conference play.
And they'll be back at home for a match against Newman Saturday afternoon.
Yeah, this is going to be the week where we catch only the one match. Newman's technically kind of like our travel partner in the MIAA for men's soccer. So, yeah, they're going to be coming out to Hayes, and that's one where we feel like, hey, you got a chance to extend that home win streak, I believe, out to now. It's going to be 20 games if we can win that match. So, pretty awesome streak we've had here at home, and hopefully we'll continue that success this week against Newman.
And the women's soccer team shut out Washburn with 1 goal on Friday, but then lost to Emporia State 2-1 to wrap up the weekend.
Yeah, kind of a up and down weekend for the women. Obviously, they played okay against Washburn, got the result they needed there. I think that was a very defensive-minded game, and our ladies finally got the opportunity they needed to get a goal on the board in that game. Sunday was a challenge of the elements, I guess. It was howling. The wind was howling pretty good out there, at times gusting up to 40 mile per hour. But seeing how Emporia, they beat us about a week or so earlier in non-conference play down at their place. And in those conditions, I just felt like Emporia was, honestly a step faster than we were. We just weren't getting to the ball that quick. Their forwards are out running us for different things. And when you're playing in those conditions and having to run into a stiff breeze like that, speed helps. And unfortunately, it just looked like our ladies had a little bit of, concrete feet the other day. They just weren't moving that efficiently. And, we had a chance late. We got fouled in the box late. Darby Hirsch put in a penalty kick goal to kind of make it interesting there in the last 5 minutes. But Emporia kind of controlled that match all the way throughout. So hopefully our ladies will use that as a good, lesson to learn from and know, what it's going to take in certain matches where you got to be physical and get to every ball the best you can. And so hopefully they'll use that as a good learning experience and use that going forward. So. And
yeah, they'll be on the road for both matches this week as well, to Central Oklahoma on Friday and then Wichita for a match against Newman on Sunday. Yeah, Central Oklahoma is going to be another tough one. Obviously, last year they were an NCAA tournament team. They had the National Player of the Year. Just talking about, forwards being quick. She did graduate last year, Kate Killian. She was a phenomenal player. She did some things out here when I watched her here, individually, where I was like, man, that's a player with a different gear, So Central Oklahoma is going to have some athletes, and so our ladies, just after watching what we did against Emporia, we're going to have to step up to that challenge because that's going to be a tough match, and then to try and, get a result against Newman later in the weekend. So hopefully, we'll at least get a win out of either of those games this weekend and kind of get ourselves going in MIAA play, because that one against Emporia counted towards MIAA play and the next one's not easy. So hopefully our ladies can get a win this week and just kind of get things moving in the right direction. Women's golf was able to capture an 8th place finish at the MIAA Fall Preview. Yeah, our women's golf team, there's been some pleasant surprises there early in the year. Taylor DeBoer has been playing at a more elevated level than she has in years past. Kyra Mestel had a really good week this week too at that tournament. So there's some ladies that, you look at their scores in the past year or years, and to see them elevate their game this year, especially with Hannah Perkins graduating last year. She was kind of the number one player and was a good individual success too of getting to the NCAA tournament and everything like that. So, seeing what our women's golf team has done so far without the presence of Hannah there anymore, I think they've done really good as a team so far, and hopefully they continue to grow as the season goes on, and hopefully some good results ahead as they play against in-region competition and MIAA competition. Tennis moves to 4-2 overall after sweeping Bethel College on Friday. Yeah, good way for them to, I guess, end out their fall duel results. That was going to be their last duel of the fall, so that's the way their record will sit going into the spring. There's going to be obviously a tournament this weekend that's the ITA regional. That's more of an individual tournament. Coach Flax will take probably a few of the individuals down there, and they'll do some individual tournament play, and that's just to kind of set up national rankings, region rankings. It's kind of a preview to show who's the best players in the region at that time, and it just kind of affects maybe some of the ITA rankings as we go into the spring. So it's just good competition for our ladies to kind of see where they're at and see what where they got to get to with some of the individual talent in the region. But yes, good result at Bethel the other day. Obviously, sweep all the matches, win 7-0. That's a good way to end the fall. So. It was a good week at the Emporia State Invitational for Fort Hays cross country. Both men and women finished first on Friday.
Yeah, cross country continues to show good things so far, obviously having good results in their meets. I know we had Israel Barco on the show here a couple of weeks ago when the men put up a perfect score at that one race that they were running at, I think the Hastings College race, and now to go down to Emporia. And both the men and the women have a good result down there. The women win on a tie break. Both they tied Rockhurst in the top of the standings, both at 37 points. But how they broke down the tie break, fortunately, we came out on that 3-2 in the head-to-head thing that they look at for the tie break. So, yeah, and to see how the men have done in their results too, they're doing a good job of packing together in races. I think Coach preaches that really well. And yeah, we didn't have a runner finish in the top 6 individually, but then it was like boom, 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 7 through 11. They were all there, just 5 in a row, and that's how you score good team points at the front end of a race and win as a team, even though you might not have the top individual. So they're doing a good job at doing that right now, and if that's how you have to win races, well, so be it. So hopefully they'll continue that mindset going forward, and their next race is going to be here at home. So
yeah, during the Tiger Open on October 12th.
Yes, that's always a fun race, and one of the bigger races here in the Midwest. Coach McCall has turned that into kind of a destination of choice for some of the coaches in this region of the country, and so that should be an entertaining race. And on homecoming weekend, there'll be plenty of things going on that weekend. So good opportunity to get out and see our Tiger cross country squads run. So
well, thanks for joining me today, Ryan.
No problem.
That concludes this episode. Tune in next week for another episode of This Week in Tiger Athletics. And as always, to stay up to date on the latest news and information throughout the week, visit tigermedianet.com.